sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to report.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch broadcast, that's great. Go to Reaver.one. That is REAVER.ONE. Click on the live stream. And as my daughter always says, Daddy, don't forget to tell them. If you like the live stream, click the live, subscribe, and comment. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Oh, how is everybody doing today? Oop, I need to turn that on. Always forgetting things. There we go. All right. So, Japan is on high alert. Yeah. Japan is on high alert now. Why? Because that idiot Kim Jong-un, well, they're playing around. It looks like they are in a launch mode. They're getting ready for firing ballistic missiles. So it has Japan, South Korea, going on high alert. And Japan's put its military on alert on Monday for a possible North Korea ballistic missile firing, while South Korea also said it had detected evidence of launch preparation, officials from Japan and South Korea said. Tensions in the region has been high since North Korea conducted its fourth nuclear test in January, and followed that with a satellite launch and test launches of various missiles. Japan ordered naval destroyers, Patriot anti-ballistic missile batteries to be ready to shoot down any projectile heading for the country, state broadcast NHK said. A Japanese official who declined to be identified, as he is not authorized to speak to the media, confirmed the order. A spokesman for Japan's defense ministry declined to comment. The missile tubes on a Patriot missile battery on the grounds of Japan's Ministry of Defense were elevated to a firing position. The South Korean defense official declined to comment on what type of missiles might be launched, but South Korea's news agency said officials believe it would be an intermediate-range Masudin missile. We've detected a sign and are tracking that. We are fully prepared, says the South Korean official, who also declined to be identified. A Pentagon spokesman, U.S. Navy Commander Gary Ross said, "We are closely monitoring the situation on the Korean Peninsula in coordination with our regional allies. We urge North Korea to refrain from provocative actions." I can see it's going to go sideways today. Yep. It seems like North Korea pulls this every now and then like a child of, I'm not getting attention, so I'm going to do something to get attention. And we got to do something. This shit with North Korea is getting nuts. This nutbag. I know taking out leaders is not the best thing we have a track record of right now. But the mistreatment of the people of North Korea is disgusting. People live in such poverty because of what this leader is doing. Hey, Jenna. It's, I don't know. One of these times they're gonna mess with one of these countries at the wrong time, and North Korea is just gonna get leveled. I mean, it's gonna catch one of these countries in a bad mood one day, and the leader's just gonna be like, you know what? I'm tired of taking their shit. Flatten them. Go ahead. Just flatten them. Now, it pokes. Oh, my God. It has started already. The provocation actions that aggravated tensions and instead focus on fulfilling its international obligations and commitments. Ross said he would not discuss U.S. intelligence assessments. The White House declined to comment. North Korea tried unsuccessfully to test launch the Masudin 3 times in April, according to U.S. and South Korean officials. Japan has put its anti-ballistic missile forces on alert at least twice this year after detecting signs of launch by North Korea. North Korea's nuclear and missile testing this year triggered new UN sanctions. But it seems determined to press ahead with its weapon program, despite the sanction and the disapproval of its sole main ally, China. These people think that putting sanctions is going to stop the issues. Not everything can be solved with talking. How long have we been dealing with North Korea and this bullshit? We keep putting sanctions on them. The only thing it hurts, and the only ones it hurt, are the citizens. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired of this modern day, oh, you did something bad. The country's done something bad. Let's go put some sanctions on them. We're just going to put some sanctions on them. That'll solve everything. Don't worry. We'll just put sanctions and they'll stop doing the bad stuff. Putting your kid in timeout does not stop the issues. It's, oh my. This new age bullshit. I don't know. Maybe I was raised for the wrong time. I don't know. It's decades ago, if Korea would have done this shit, we have already sent troops over, smacked Kim Jong-un around, got the country straightened out, gave it a spanking, and been on our merry way. But today's leaders, we're going to talk. We could talk through it. We could talk to everything. Yeah. But last Friday, leaders of the group of 7 industrialized nations, including Japan's Prime Minister, U.S. dipshit Barack Obama, met in Japan and demanded that North Korea comply with UN Security Council resolutions to stop all nuclear missile tests and refrain from provocation actions. They're demanding. We demand that you stop. That'll do it. Not only are we talking to you, we are now demanding that you do it. Yeah, we've seen what countries think of Obama's demands. They give that big middle finger and say, fuck you, Obama, we ain't listening to you. This guy thinks he has more power than he actually does. I don't even think he has the power to run his own household, let alone the world. And yes, he's been trying to do that. He has made the comments that his economical recovery of the United States saved the world's economy. The guy's delusional. He belongs in a fucking nut house. Right alongside Kim Jong-un. I gotta get a bit. Sackhead Sean does this freaking funny as hell Kim Jong-un impression. It's funny. I don't know how accurate, but it's funny. Jenna, no. In the state of Florida, when I moved down here, I think it was 2007, shortly after that, they put a law in, you have the right to spank your kid. And they kind of like, they put the borderline, not borderline, but they, say there is a difference between abusing your kid and disciplining your kid. And even spanking your kid in public, giving a couple whacks on the ass, is legal in the state of Florida. And I love it. I mean, all right, my daughter's 13 years old. I think I wrapped her on the ass one time when she was a kid, or a baby with a little diaper on, just enough to rattle the diaper and scare the crap out of her. I think she was trying to stick her finger in the wall socket or something like that. But, I had to give her a little rap. It was more, my wife started laughing when she started crying because she's like, oh my God, you barely touched her. It was just enough to startle her. Otherwise, I really haven't had to discipline my daughter that much. Which scares me. She's too good of a kid. Which scares me because as soon as she hits teenage, the rebellion stage is coming full bore on us. But, yeah, you can't discipline your kids. Oh, spanking is not the answer. Yeah, we see what spanking did. Created idiots like you. It created idiots like we have now where kids think they can do whatever the fuck they want with no consequences. Well, there's consequences in life. And spanking your kid is not a bad thing. That's like, my mom got the SPCA called on her because she's basically spanked our dog. The dog was chewing on the electrical lines, 220 lines of the AC, and the AC, the Freon line. She started to chew on, so my mother gave her a little whack on the butt. Next thing we know, we got SPCA showing up, saying, we got a phone call that you're mistreating your dog. Now, the guy looked at the dog and went, never mind. This dog is not abused. Mom's like, what are you talking about? That person was like, yeah, we got a call that, you smacked your dog. Mom was like, yeah, she was chewing on the 220 line. The SPCA guy goes, good, you disciplined the dog not to do it. Next time, do me a favor. At least take the dog inside, give her a little whack. Don't do it outside. These idiots love to call. I'm like, seriously? Someone called, well, that's this friggin' gorilla thing. They're pissed off. Not to change subject. Oh, my God, I know this is totally swinging off of the subject, but everybody's freaking out about this damn gorilla. The kid is in intensive care, was dragged all around. Yeah, the gorilla wasn't actively, trying to kill it, but the gorilla doesn't know that that child doesn't have the same structure as a baby gorilla and can't be doing that shit. The kid's life was in danger. That's, from what I'm understanding, that's the only solution they had to save that kid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry they had to shoot that gorilla. And I'm pretty sure the guys that took the shot, who deal with those animals on a daily basis, didn't want to take that shot. But you got these idiots that think that all types of lives are very precious. But I'm sorry, that kid's life is a little bit more important. yes, the parents may have been paying attention a little bit more. I don't know how the kid fell over. That's something you deal with afterwards. Right then and there, you have split-second decisions to make. The kid's life was in danger. They had to take the shot. I'm sorry. And these people that care more about fucking animal lives than they do about human lives is absolutely disgusting. There is people out there that hate the human race. They don't hate themselves. They don't hate them families. They hate the human race. They want everybody else gone. I mean, I feel bad something that they had to do it. I do. Because I'm tired of this attitude that conservatives don't give a shit about the wildlife. We care more about it because we have a better understanding. Because we do hunting. We do all that. We see direct relationships of what happened. The gorilla was doing what gorillas do. If they would have tranquilized that gorilla, that several 100-pound gorilla, it could also have landed on top of that kid because several times the gorilla was putting it underneath him. Even shooting it, they took a chance. They had to do something. They had to be fast. The kid was in danger. People, grow the fuck up. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry the gorilla is dead. I really am. I wish the kid never fell in there. But it happened. They had to act. And when you're in that type of situation, you have split second to make a decision. 2020, after everything's done, yeah, you could tear that thing apart twice from Sunday. Well, they could have done this and they could have done that. Well, they may not have had those options at that time. And I can understand it. Doing EMS, you have split-second decisions. You don't have time to sit there and think of 20 different things you could do, 20 different angles. They have to do and act. And I don't know the people. I haven't talked to the people that work there, but I am sure with them dealing day in and day out with those animals, I am sure they did. That was the last thing they wanted to do. People, there was a kid's life at stake. I don't know how many ways I can go at it, but it happened. Look at what happened when everybody freaked out. And it's kind of different, but it got brought up recently. The lion. The uproar that these social justice warriors did has now jeopardized 200 lions' lives. They don't think of their consequences when they act. And in this atmosphere of self-loathing that they have, it is really scary. It scares the shit out of me. Because those are the ones that can go postal and go on these massive shooting sprees and kill people. Those are the ones that scare the living crap out of me. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless and looking like an idiot because I forgot to put up, during the break, I usually on the video, I throw up the show's logo. So here I am during the break, not paying attention, being an idiot playing air drums and just being a goofball. When I look over and notice that the camera is still going, yeah, it's going to be one of those days. But the Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. And if you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. And last but not least, don't forget to support the show or support SHR Media. Go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a t-shirt. Well, it could have been worse. At least people know I got, shorts on. For all they know, I could have been just had a t-shirt on and naked everywhere else and walking around butt-ass naked. So at least people know I wear shorts during the show. No, I'm not in pants. I'm in my house. It's climate controlled. And not boxer shorts. I'm talking short shorts I got on. So, let's get on with the show and stop talking about stupid shit like that. I know I just gave someone a visual that they did not need to have. All right, the LA Times is amazed to find Latinos who support Trump. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times. Oh, I was laughing my ass off this weekend. I touched on it a little bit yesterday, but it's still going on. There is a bunch of Never Trumps that their new excuse for not backing Trump is he broke the pledge. I don't know how he broke the pledge, but he broke the pledge according to them. Because the pledge was, if you don't win the nomination, you pledge that you will still support whoever the Republican nominee is, and you won't run third party. Well, he's the Republican nominee. He's not running third party. So I'm trying to figure out how he broke the pledge. But they're saying that is the reason why they're voting third party is because he broke the pledge about third party. Or about not running third party. Huh? And there's one guy out there. I find it funny, this Chuck dude, Chuck NASCAR, whatever. He's on Twitter. 2 or 3 of his accounts have been permanently suspended by Twitter. Of course, he blames everybody else. And how do I know he's blaming everybody else? Because he created new accounts, and he's even telling Twitter that he wants his accounts back as he created new ones. So why the fuck suspend people if you're going to allow them to openly create new accounts? Doesn't that kind of divert the purpose of suspending? So now he's on there crying, and he's blaming that it was the Trump supporters. They lied and got him in trouble. Well, I've seen Twitter and how they act. And they just can't say, well, I think, or he's doing this. And they go, okay, well, if you think that, we're going to suspend him. They look through the Twitter line. So whatever, you did something there to get suspended. And he was on there, and he's running his mouth. And the other big thing right now is they're bashing Trump about a Memorial Day Twitter he sent. And they're comparing it to Romney, what Romney said. And there's a big difference. Until you start looking at it, this is from Memorial Day last year when he was in the battle for the real battle for the primary. And then they compared it to a tweet Romney said today or yesterday. So that, oh my God. And then the other thing that makes me laugh about these Never Trump, they're supposed to be so conservative. But I always see them posting liberal articles. Which then pointing that out, Chuck, who cries about censoring and freedom of speech. Twitter's censoring me. They won't let me use my account, so I created a new one, and I'm just running my mouth, and they're censoring me. Oh, I don't like what you said. I'm blocking you. Wah. That's all I really hear out of, not all, but a lot of these Never Trumps. They're hysterical. They run their mouths and then get upset when people turn them in for their mouths. And they act, and I'm telling you, these people are not conservatives, or they got too wrapped up in the Obama crap, and they're a victim. Everything, they're a victim. They're a victim with Trump. Trump has caused all their problems. It's the Trump supporters that are doing it. Now, I got a discussion with somebody this weekend, and me and the gentleman were very cordial to each other. And he talks about how he doesn't start, but he finishes. I said, well, how about these comments? And he couldn't defend it. And like I said, it's not just the Trump supporters. It's not just the Never Trump supporters. It's both sides. Everybody is on edge. Yeah. Everybody is on edge because of what's happened in the last 7.5 years. And they're so quick to jump on each other. Yeah. People, take a step back. Conservative, liberals, whatever you want to call yourselves, take a step back. You're not that innocent. Because I had one this weekend who just kept insulting me in the Twitter. And then was surprised when I went Jersey on his ass. And it was like, see, you Trump supporters, you have to insult and cuss. I was like, listen here, you motherfucker. You are the one that started this shit. I was talking kindly to you, and you had to keep insulting me. You had to go with the name calling. So you know what? Yes, I unloaded on you. But you're not the victim. Get a set of balls. Admit that you were acting like an asshole. And then I slapped you around a few. I'm so sick and tired of this victimhood that they play. If you're going to start shit and you're going to run your mouth, don't sit there and get upset when someone goes back at you and start acting like, oh my God, I've never acted like that. How dare you talk to me like that? Because it's on the internet. I can show you. I could show where I've had death threats, where my family's been insulted, where sexual comments been made at my wife, my daughter degraded. Why is that going like that? Huh. Video I was looking over and just saw it was like freeze framing for a second. And those people are lucky they are behind a computer screen, because some of the things they said would have got their teeth knocked down their throat. And I am not one for violent, but don't attack the family. Don't attack the wives. My wife, it's not like my wife was part of the conversation. She had nothing to do with it. And they thought it would be smart, these Never Trumps, to try to antagonize me. No, I'm smart. I take screenshots, and I started posting everywhere. Because they certainly deleted those comments to try make it look like they're innocent. So Never Trump, your numbers are dwindling. They're going smaller and smaller. So, stop with the whining already. It's really not becoming of you. You're supposed to be conservatives. Man up. As I was saying, the LA Times amazed to find Latinos who support Trump. Los Angeles Times columnist visited the Donald Trump rally in Fresno last Friday and reported that she found Latinos who actually support the Republican candidate. Who were these people? Exactly. Who could vote for a man who is called Mexican rapists and murderers who insulted the Republican Latina government of the New Mexico, who tweeted, "I love Hispanics," as he ate a taco bowl at his desk on Cinco de Mayo? Oh my God, the racist had a taco bowl. The racist says he loves Hispanic. Oh my God. Oh my God, he's holding a Republican governor to the same standards that he holds the Democrat governors. Oh, he's such an evil man. Oh my God. Is he going after a Republican governor? Yes. Is that Republican governor doing a good job? I don't think so from what I see. So he's supposed to let a Republican not be held to the same standard that he's holding for everybody else just because he's a Republican. Well, I see a lot of Republicans treating Trump differently than they would any other Republican. So why can't he hold everybody to that same standard? I wonder sometimes if we're goddamn doomed. If this country is doomed. In fact, the world, because the human race is like at a pinnacle spot of either we go back to being idiots or we advance. And right now it looks like we're going to go to idiots. God. And it turns out that many of them are American citizens or legal immigrants who care about the country's border and share the same view as fellow conservative Republicans on a variety of issues. His rhetoric about Mexicans doesn't bother you, I asked. It's about illegal aliens, Jennings said. Mom and I can't go to Canada and just squat and get benefits. We can't go to Mexico either without the proper paperwork. They'll put us in jail. I'm Mexican. This person, I ain't even going to try for that damn name. And I understand that Mexicans do the farm labor, but there's a lot of legal ones. That's how they should do it. The way my parents did. Naturally, Abercranian, oh my God. Why can't people have some normal names? We'll go with Robin. Let her own skepticisms poke through. In that case, good luck in a Trump administration to all the lettuce growers in Salina. They can't find enough people to pick their crops even now. For a more conventional view, Robin spoke to protesters outside the arena. Outside the arena, it was easy to find Latinos who take a fair, dimmer view of Trump. Polls, after all, show that he is very negatively by a huge majority of Latino voters. Practically the first person I bumped into was Daniel Ortiz, a 66-year-old retired truck driver from Selma. He carried a homemade sign featuring a photo of Trump altered to look like Adolf Hitler. It said, "Fuck Trump, and anything can happen if you don't vote." Well, right there shows how simple-minded that gentleman is. You know, this going to Adolf Hitler every time, and I've been guilty of it too. Every time that someone doesn't like something, what do we immediately do? Compare him to Obama, and we compare him to Hitler. If you got to do that, you're kind of on the downward spiral of facts. And I've been guilty of it too. Trump is himself. Okay, we're going to take Hillary, put Hillary over here. We're going to take Trump and put Trump over here. Now, Adolf Hitler's in the middle. He killed people. He had people killed. He was against guns. He was against freedom of speech. Now we'll go to Trump. Has Trump ever killed anybody? Not to anybody's knowledge he has. Is he for the Second Amendment? Yeah. Is he for free speech? Yeah. That's everything against Hitler. So let's go to Hillary. Has Hillary killed anybody? Oh, fuck yeah, she killed 4 people. At least. She's against the Second Amendment. She wants to ban guns. She said it herself. She doesn't like free speech. She limits it during her questions. People talking to her, they got to be vetted before they go up there. So you tell me who is closer. Hillary's closer to being a Hitler, if anything, than Trump. Hillary Clinton was for basically a wall also. But now she's changed her mind. Except then she called it a fence, and she's still for a fence. Just the wall is what's racist. The fence is okay. Wall is racist. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. It's I was looking at a couple things. I'm always looking at stuff as the show's going on, see if there's anything that pops up that I need to talk about. And I got looking at something totally different, and it wasn't porn. Damn. So Gary Sinise, the actor, and he was out and about this weekend with Memorial Day, and actor Sinise appeared on ABC's This Week on Sunday to discuss the impact of one of his most famous roles on his work as the founder of the Gary Sinise Foundation. First, I forget to put on. I need a producer. And their families. Gary Sinise Foundation, which has been helping military service members and their families since 2011. The 61-year-old Criminal Minds Beyond Border star famously played Vietnam veteran Lieutenant Dan in 1994 Oscar-winning film Forrest Gump, earning a nomination himself for the role. There was a tweet at Gary Sinise on Lieutenant Dan. He's okay in the end, and that's what we want for all of our wounded coming back from the war. Sinise said this week that he had been actively involved in veterans group going all the way back to the 70s, particularly the Vietnam veterans groups, because he has family member amongst them. I didn't know until after September 11th, though, when we had this new generation of Lieutenant Dans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, that the role would continue to play a part in my life. Sinise was quoted as saying. Of his famous movie character, Sinise said that Lieutenant Dan is okay in the end, and that's what we want for all of our wounded coming back from the war. I always say that we can never do enough for our veterans, the actor added. We can always try to do more. And to add to that, we ought to be, what we do for these illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, these criminals, we should be doing that for our vets instead. They are the ones that deserve the high praise. Those are the ones that deserve the extra opportunities. Not people who come into this country illegally. The Oscar-nominated actor founded the Gary Sinise Foundation in 2011 and has since launched various programs aimed at supporting veterans and first responders. The foundation includes programs like RISE, which provides home mobility devices and specially adapted vehicles to wounded service members and serving heroes, which serves heartily American meals to veterans at major travel hubs. Sinise has also taken his Lieutenant Dan band overseas to boost morale on American military bases across the world and founded the Invincible Spirit Festivals, day-long event with live music and food in celebration of service members' achievements at military hospitals throughout the country. On Sunday, Sinise hosted the National Memorial Day concert in Washington, D.C. for the 11th time. For so many, this weekend is an opportunity to have an extra day off, to attend a ball game, to eat some barbecue, or just relax in the backyard with family and friends. Sinise wrote that in a special Memorial Day message on his website. These are all certainly wonderful things, though as we gather together, I encourage you to also reflect on the meaning of this day. And I think too many people have forgotten what Memorial Day is about. Too many people take things for granted. All they see is a day off, and we get to get drunk and eat barbecue. They forget about what the day actually means. Too many people have taken it for granted. We need to get back to the basics on this country. And that's my opinion. I think it's too far that we're actually going backwards. We need to stop taking our military for granted and stop listening to idiots like Obama who want to bash our military. And I know this may be, it doesn't affect me, but I like seeing it, that he also helps first responders. We may not be military. And this is a quote from some Vietnam vets I used to hang around with. We are the ones that stay back here in the country and keep the country going. We're the ones that do almost the same job as the military. We put our lives on the lines daily. We do it for American citizens. They do it for foreigners. I have more respect for them, and a lot of them have told me they have more respect for me. And we usually end up arguing when I'm at a bar, and, it goes back and forth, because so many times they want to buy me drinks for what I've done, and I want to buy them drinks for what they've done. But I like that Gary Sinise is also looking out for them, because our government, I know for a fact, does not look out for us. I spent 25 years of my life as an EMT and a firefighter. I got injured. There's no help for me. There's nothing out there. As soon as I got hurt and I needed the help, all of a sudden backs were turned in this country to me. If you don't work for a county, you don't have this huge pension. You don't have all this protection. If you work private, EMS, you don't get paid shit. And which I never went into this business for money. I went into it because I had a passion for it. That's why I don't like my local fire EMS, because those guys and women, they get into it because of the pension, not because of the love for the job. But at least now there's, like Gary Sinise is setting up foundations to help first responders. Setting up foundations to help veterans. And earlier this month, Sinise was awarded the 2016 Bradley Prize for his work supporting veterans and first responders. The actor donated the $250,000 stipend. $250,000 he was given. He put that into his foundation. $250,000. And he just put that right into his foundation. He said, I pray that we always remember the fallen, that we take their sacrifices for granted. That we never take their sacrifice for granted. I was wondering about that. And that we all learn from the selfless service of the brave heroes who have given their last full measure of devotion. People like Gary Sinise are honorable men in my book. He's doing things not, and he doesn't publicize that he's doing all this. Very little do you see in the public eye about what he's doing with the Veterans Group. Unless it's to get the word out about the Veterans Group. It's like I said, it hits my heart when he also is helping the first responders. There are so many people, so many first responders that aren't working either because of the burnout rate nationally for EMTs, 3 years and you're out of the career. That's national average. Everybody thinks it's puppy dogs and rainbows when you're working on the ambulance, and it's... You think you got bad days at the office when you got papers all over the place? I can top that. When you got to take your ambulance out of service because that last call messed up the back so bad it's taking you 2-3 hours just to decon the back of it. And you have to scrub those rigs down, inside, out, after some of these calls. Because you can't be going to another call with blood all over the place. There's more than what meets the eye. I know an EMT who got stabbed. And it's not uncommon for violence to happen on these calls towards EMS, fire. It's not uncommon. We're not the saviors for everybody. And some people just don't give a shit. And as I said, the one I knew that got stabbed, why? Because they were there helping a woman who was that her husband beat the shit out of her. She hit him, and the cop told her that he apologized, but by the law, he had to arrest her. And she looked at him and said, that's no problem. She's sitting on a couch. Said, that's no problem. But if I'm going down, someone's going down. Stood up and pulled a kitchen knife out and stabbed him in the stomach. And he was there helping her. What did he get? He got stabbed in the stomach for it. It's one quick story out of God knows how many. Working in certain areas, you get shot at. Why? Because these gangs can go up higher in the ranking, become more dangerous by shooting at and killing cops, firefighters, EMS. It's a game to them. I've been laying in a car with my feet sticking out, helping a victim. With cars blowing by me doing 70 just a few feet away from my feet and legs. It's the job. But when I got hurt, there was nothing there. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm making sense out of this senseless. At least I'm trying. I was telling you my experience as a first responder, as an EMT, just as an understanding. I don't want people to think I'm looking for pity or anything like that. I don't want pity. I want people to understand that the job of an EMT, because I got it so many times. Well, everybody's happy to see you. You're there to help them. No, they're not. There's plenty of people that are not happy to see us. Whether it's just they don't like us,
They don't want to go to the hospital. They're having a mental breakdown of some sort. There's a list of reasons they don't like us. They're not always. The job isn't puppy dogs and rainbows that make people make it out to be. The things that we see, it'll live with us forever. It's a hard job that it takes a special person to do. And that's all. I wanted to convey that along. And that a person like Gary Sinise that recognizes the first responders also. At any time, their lives can be snuffed out just that quick. You know, there's some states are even with their EMT, paramedics, and firefighters. It's getting so bad. Some states are considering allowing them to carry weapons while they're doing their job. I mean, there plenty of times they're being shot at, and what do we have? Nothing. Some states it's even illegal for the EMTs, the firefighters, to own and wear any type of ballistic protection. Recently, the Senate, Congress, I'm not sure if it was the House or what, tried to push through a bill that would make it illegal for residents to own any type of ballistic equipment. And I'm talking bulletproof vests. In New Jersey, it was basically illegal for me to own. The store there was an EMS, police, emergency service store. That's where we got all of our uniforms and all that from. She knew what was going on, and what was going on in Trenton at the time was there was a high gang level. And it was getting bad. It was getting nasty. Shootings every Friday. I mean, massive shootings. Shooting at the ambulances, everything. You'd be driving down the street and someone would open fire with automatic AK-47. That's how bad it was. She was allowing us to buy vests. And like she said, she would rather take the punishment for allowing us to buy the vest than to hear about one of us got killed because, well, she wouldn't sell us a vest for protection. And she put her business on the line, and I've always respected that. She was looking out for life above money. Now, and what made me start wearing a vest, to go off stage a little bit, my daughter had just been born. Before that, it was, yeah, the bulletproof theory of the guys, we're indestructible. Had a daughter, and I'm thinking to myself one day, at any moment, one of these gangbangers can take me out, and my daughter's going to grow up without a father. And I can't take that. No. So that's when I started to protect myself. And it's funny because, like I said, there's some states that are looking at making it mandatory equipment. And one of the EMS pages on Facebook, and they were having a discussion on it. You always have that cocky new loudmouth. Well, if you're that afraid, stay the hell out of the... Wait a minute. Well, you're just going to scare patients. That's what they said about rubber gloves when we first started really mandating the wearing of them. And yes, when I first started, it wasn't exactly a mandate. I still, when I do IVs, I got to rip the fingers off my gloves. And the theory back then was, well, if you wear gloves, you're going to be insulting and scaring the patient. Because they're going to think that you're accusing them of having a disease that they don't have. Well, it's better to have them a little offended and be safe than to be dead. So, when you see your EMTs and firefighters, they're all not making the top money that you think. And it's not such an easy job. We're going to change up the subject a little bit. And we're going to go to Clinton. Email headache is about to get worse. Hillary Clinton's email headache is about to get even worse than it already has been. A scathing Inspector General report last week was just the first in what is likely a series of official actions related to a private server stemming from the FBI, a federal court, and Capitol Hill. Clinton's presidential campaign has failed to quiet the fury over the issue, which has dogged her for more than a year. In the next few weeks, just as likely Democrat presidential nominee hopes to pivot towards a general election, it will face its toughest scrutiny yet. All that feeds into the overarching problem of public distrust for her. To put it in slang terms, she's got a pretty deep held street rep at this point. This fits the street rep. I don't know. Oh my God. The State Department's watchdog report was especially damaging given the official nature of its source. The report claimed that Clinton never sought approval of her homebrew email setup, that her use of the system violated the department's record-keeping rules, and that it would have been rejected had she brought it up to department officials. Now, serves my memory correct, in an interview, she said that she put forth the request and it was approved. I take it she's lying? Can't be. She wouldn't. For months, Clinton and her team have failed to offer a convincing explanation for the use of the private server, and she has steadfastly refused to apologize. She makes fun of the issue. She makes fun of that she deleted all these emails and said only personal emails were on the server. When everything has been, maybe not all of them, but the recovery, there's a shitload of top secret documents that were emailed back and forth. And not just to her, from her. Everything has been disputed in her statements. The woman is a known liar. In her, I haven't lied in my life, was such bullshit, you could fertilize about 20 farms with that. Now, she has gone on and said, I thought it was allowed, she said in an interview on CNN, the Situation Room this past week after the watchdog report became public. I knew past secretaries of states use personal email. She thought it was allowed, but she also, then why did she say she put in a request for approval and it was approved, which was never done? She was warned about having it, so how could she think it was allowed when she's been told officially no? It was still a mistake, and if I can go back, I'd do it differently. No, the mistake is that she got caught. Period. That is what she would like to go back and do differently. Is that she got caught subverting the transparency laws. The Freedom of Information Acts. Because if those emails are not on government servers, they can hide those documents. Clinton and many of her top aides declined to take part in the Inspector General's probe, but they won't have that option going forward. On Friday, Clinton's former chief of secretary, Cheryl Mills, was interviewed behind closed doors as part of a court case launched by conservative watchdog Judicial Watch. In coming weeks, longtime aide Huma Abedin, former IT specialist Brian Paglione, and other officials are scheduled to answer questions under oath for sessions that could last as long as 7 hours. A federal judge this week preemptively blocked Judicial Watch from releasing videotapes of the upcoming deposition. But the group this week released the transcripts from its first interview with longtime State Department veteran Louis Lukens, and it plans to do the same thing following each of the upcoming deposition, providing fodder for weeks to come for some of the closest rings of Clinton's inner circle. The court has said that Clinton herself may be forced to answer questions under oath, which we do. Yes, Jenna. Yes, there's not. I know personally from a couple EMTs. 20 years later, yeah, they still have nightmares. I can tell you from. Sorry, I was asked a question in chat room, and I can tell you from personal experience. Every night when I go to sleep, I can still see. I had a 17-year-old kid who was racing his car. Literally, he finished building it. First night driving it. Lost control, hit a telephone pole, and from the impact, his head popped off, literally, right at the jaw line. So when we looked in the car, left hand was on the steering wheel, right hand was on the shifter, and kind of like where his head was supposed to be, there was a puddle of red, and you could see the bottom jaw teeth. So yeah, that's still fresh in my mind. And the irony of that whole thing, his girlfriend was in the car. She was covered in blood. And once the initial assessment was done, she broke her arm, and that was it. So yeah, there's vividly, there's still images. And that's one of the things, it's not PSTD. I know they say that, but it's just images that we saw. It doesn't affect my life. I deal with it at night and go on my merry way. I know I get on my wife's nerves sometimes because I'm a little bit more cautious than maybe I should be about situations. But that's life. Let's see. Where were we? She's going to be forced to answer questions under oath, which would dramatically escalate the brouhaha surrounding the case. Now, the problem with that is she's already lied under oath. She's already lied. And she's already made the statement, what difference does it make? Well, the difference is, as president, we need a president that we can trust. We need a president that will be looking out for the better of the American people, not on how to better their own pockets, which time and time again we have proven that's all the Clintons are after. It's just... Hillary is evil incarnated. Pure evil. She don't care. She does not... If it doesn't have to deal with her or her daughter or her husband, she don't give a shit. She would sooner screw over this country, sort of like her selling Russia, enriched uranium, as long as she gets paid. But at some point in the next month, the House Select Committee on Benghazi is also set to release its long-awaited report about the 2012 terror attack, which has been linked to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton sat on her ass that night and just did not give the okay for reinforcements to be set in. A stand-down order was given. Now, whether she gave it or it came from higher up, we may never know. The committee has pursued Clinton's email to the extent that they related to the violence in Libya. And the report is likely to stoke new ire about the matter. However, its 2-year investigation has been marred by partisan bickering, and the report likely be shrugged off by Democrats. Of course, they don't give a shit what other Democrats do. They protect each other. She is responsible for the death of 4 people. And the Democrat Party does not give a fucking rat's ass. How the hell can we trust a party when they turned a blind eye to so many cases of murder. Kennedy, right off the bat, Chappaquiddick Creek. Bill Clinton and his sexual escapades. Hillary in attacking the victims. I can go on and on, but I'm pretty sure most of you already know how evil Hillary is. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. All right. We're talking about the email situation, the investigation into Hillary Clinton. We're talking how the Democrats just shrug it off. That's what they do. They just don't bother themselves. They ignore it and they go on. And I'm not trying to, relate Trump to Democrats, but that's sort of what he does and why he's been successful. He gets shit thrown at him. He just ignores it and keeps going on. Now, typical Republican fashion is to stop, chase that issue, denying it, and apologizing for it. And then you look soft. Trump has taken some of the tactics that liberals use, and he's learned them. And he's just going on with it. And that's what's helping him be successful. This whole Benghazi thing, as much as I'd love to see it nail her to the fucking wall, the Democrats have turned it into a joke, which pisses me off all differently. But what is more potentially profoundly more damaging for Clinton is the looming FBI investigation exploring the possibility that she or her aides mishandled classified information. More than 2,000 emails that Clinton gave the State Department from her private server have been classified at some level, and 22 were marked as top secret, the highest level of classification. However, none of the emails were marked as classified at the time they were sent, complicating the investigation into whether her setup thought any laws. But if you look at the way the law is written, it doesn't matter whether it's labeled or not. Classified is classified. Sending and receiving that is illegal. Aberdeen Mills and other Clinton aides have reportedly been interviewed as part of the FBI case. And Clinton herself is due up for questioning at some point, which she has, even though she stated anytime, anywhere, I'll talk to the FBI, to, well, shit, this is an investigation. She has turned down requests to be interviewed. Legal experts appear skeptical that the Justice Department would hand down a criminal charge against Clinton due to both the high legal hurdles involved and the intense political scrutiny surrounding the likely presidential nominee. And I think that will hurt the Democrats even more. If Justice Department had any brains whatsoever, and I don't know if they have it on that federal level, but put it to a grand jury to decide. Take it out of their hands and put it in a grand jury. That's the way they can, well, we put it to a grand jury and they said that there's no reason for indictment. Or, hey, Clinton, sorry, the jury decided that you're indicted and we have to try this. Republicans appear primed to cry foul, though, if the FBI closes its investigation without handing down indictments or offering a public explanation. Senior lawmakers have already exonerated the Justice Department for failing to appoint a special prosecutor. It's clear that Attorney General, who serves at the pleasure of the president, is going to have very little incentive or intention to pursue the appropriate investigation. John Cornell, the number 2 Senate Republican, said on the chamber floor this past week. Other state Republicans, including Chuck Grassley, Ron Johnson, have launched their own investigations related to Clinton's email. Some of their findings, Grassley said this week, were at odds with those the State Department and Inspector General report. I will follow up to get to the bottom of these discrepancies because misrepresenting facts to Congress is unacceptable. Well, I don't exactly trust Republicans to look into it. They'll say they are just to make themselves look like they're doing something. But half the time, it's all dog and pony show. That is something that the American people are getting tired of, this dog and pony show. We can see Hillary is guilty. Majority of the people in this country can see she's guilty as hell over this email, amongst other things. But it does seem that there's this double standard that she gets protected, while anybody else who did maybe half of what she did gets convicted. And Bernie Sanders, I mean, this guy is one of the biggest wimps I've ever seen. He could be slamming her left, right, and center over the email, but has refused to address the issue. He also in December declared that people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails. Well, no, they're not. People are sick and tired of the excuses. And as she gears up for a general election, Clinton has to expect that Donald Trump won't be as kind. Sanders didn't pick up on the emails, which Trump thinks was a mistake. He is going to go after Hillary like she has never been attacked before. And that's one of the things I've been saying for a while. Any and all Republicans would be apologizing to her, where Trump will ignore and just keep attacking her, tearing her down bit by bit. You know what? I am sick of hearing about the email scandal. The woman is guilty, and they're still pussyfooting around. That's what I'm tired of. Because sure as hell, if I did anything remotely close to what she did, the FBI would have came barging through my door, thrown me on the ground, and handcuffed me already. Now, the Huffington Post had to remove an article claiming Hillary Clinton will be indicted. Huffington Post put that up. The liberal publication, Huffington Post, removed an article on its website Sunday claiming that the FBI plans to pursue an indictment against Hillary Clinton on federal racketeering charges. HuffPo freelance contributor Frank, a scientist and public speaker, posted an article on the site's blog entitled Hillary Clinton to be indicted on federal racketeering charges. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act, RICO, is a United States federal law passed in 1970 that was designed to provide a tool for law enforcement agencies to fight organized crime. RICO allows prosecution and punishment for alleged racketeering activities that has been executed as part of an ongoing criminal enterprise. Activities considered to be racketeering may include bribery, counterfeiting, money laundering, embezzlement, illegal gambling, kidnapping, murder, drug trafficking, slavery, and a host of other nefarious business practices. James Comey and the FBI will present a recommendation to Loretta Lynch, Attorney General for the Department of Justice, that includes a cogent argument that the Clinton Foundation is an ongoing criminal enterprise engaged in money laundering, soliciting bribes in exchange for political, policy, and legislative favors to individuals, corporations, or even governments, both foreign and domestic. I think if I saw those charges put against her, I'd probably just pass out. I would be in shock. As much as I say I think she is going to be indicted, but another part says you're being hopeful. It's wishful thinking. But, on the other hand, I don't know if they can get away with it again. There's been too much that the Clintons have gotten away with. And it just, I don't think, or I hope she's not going to get away with it. It's a wild. Our country is going, it's either going in one of two directions. We've been heading in a dictatorship for a while now, where political officials are above the law. And I'm hoping this election we can turn that around and get back to them being, our political figures being servants rather than masters. Because they are supposed to be servants and only have the power that we give them. Right now, they think they have the power to give more power. They think they have the power to rule us. And we got to reverse that. And Hillary getting indicted would be a nice push in the right direction. Not because I just want to see someone indicted. No, I want to see a politician, a high-ranking politician, held to the same standards that us people are held. I know that's a pretty wild and large expectation. It's something I don't see happening, though. That's the scary part. And Huffington Post wasn't the only one. You have U.S. Politics has several postings of Hillary to be indicted on racketeering charges. I can only wish. Those pages have been since taken down, all those pages. And I think the last I heard, the guy has been removed from the Huffington Post. So, I see Huffington Post trying to protect Hillary Clinton. The woman's been protected enough. And I mean, she's been protected enough. It's that time for a break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to SHR Media. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. Now, I was being told that there was the audio sounding a little weird. It seems like I'm getting some internet spikes here and causing a little bit of lag. So that could be causing some issues. Otherwise, all my other settings are... I constantly have the CPU up and running and taking a look at it. Well, like a gauge, the RAM and all that, and everything's been looking good. So I just think it's an internet spike. There is some storms around, too. It's Florida. Storms happen, and it can cause weird issues. I'll take a listen to it after the show, go through it, to see if it's something on my end. Because I can't hear the actual show. I just can't hear it, so I don't know if there's any issues Actually, let me see if I can do this. Oh. Gonna check this out. Then we're going to get to try to fit it in Hillary Clinton's shunning of the investigators. The State Department's been looking into her, and she's refused to talk to them. Which is not, I don't think, a good thing. If you're refusing to talk to the State Department, why? You seem to have an issue. You should not be, damn it. If you're so innocent, you shouldn't be worried about talking to the State Department. Oh, sometimes I hate these things. Used to be able to find the player for this real easy, and now I can never find it. Alright, I'll take a look at it later. And also, yes, during the commercials, I do have both my wife and my daughter in on the commercial. My daughter's the one saying, "You're listening to my dad, Jersey Joe." And then for, I think it's the store. I'm not sure. I can't remember which one. It's my wife talking. So, but I'll take a listen and see if there's an issue with the audio. But it wasn't just Hillary Clinton who refused to talk to the State Department investigators. Her entire top tier of staffers shunned the Inspector General's probe into her secret email system. And most of those staffers are now playing prominent role in Mrs. Clinton's presidential campaign. What happened to that she wants everybody accessible to the investigations, and she's accessible to the investigations, and she's willing to testify. But when it comes time for her to actually do it, she runs away. She's contradictive of herself. The State Department's Inspector General report determined that not only Miss Clinton, but also her confidants used private email accounts, aided Miss Clinton's use of a personal server, and would not answer any questions about the scandal, fueling speculation of a coordinated cover-up. It's remarkable, truly remarkable, there was no cooperation with the Office of the Inspector General. I can't think of anything comparable. Tom Fitton, president of the watchdog group Judicial Watch, which has filed more than a dozen lawsuits trying to pry loose emails from Miss Clinton and her aides. Miss Clinton's refusal to talk stood in stark contrast to other secretaries who all cooperated with the Inspector General's probe. Mrs. Clinton's campaign didn't respond to a request for comment from the Washington Times for this article. But her campaign spokesman said Wednesday in a round of television interviews that the candidate and her inner circle figured it was more important to talk to the FBI, which is also conducting an investigation, than to work with the Inspector General. So in other words, they gave a big middle finger and a fuck you to the Inspector General. To our minds, it made sense to prioritize the review being conducted by the Justice Department. That was Brian Fallon told CNN. He did not explain why Miss Clinton and her team couldn't do both. The Inspector General
83-page document detailed the extent to which Mrs. Clinton's inner circle was aware of her private email server and how some of them used their own private accounts. The report also cast doubt on claims by John Bentel, the State Department's former Director of Information Resource Manager, who told Congress this year that he didn't know about Ms. Clinton's unique email arrangements. The report includes an exchange in which Mr. Bentel suggested that Ms. Clinton could use an official state.gov email account already set up for her, but warned that would mean her communications would be subject to open record laws. And in another incident, after State Department employees raised concerns about Ms. Clinton's private email server, Mr. Bentel responded by instructing the staff never to speak of the Secretary's personal email system again, the report says. Mr. Bentel refused to cooperate with the investigation, as noted by the Inspector General. So many people that are required to answer to the people, but yet they never do answer to the people. It's not just the politicians that think they're above the law. It seems to be any more federal employees think they're above the law. They feel they could do whatever the hell they want without question. These people work for the people. They're supposed to answer to the people. And the only reason I could think why they would not answer to the people is because they're hiding what they've done. And they don't want the people to know what they are doing. Mr. Bentel's Washington-based attorney, Rander Turk, would not comment. But Mr. Fallon, the Clinton campaign spokesman, told CNN that Mr. Bentel was a career State Department official unconnected to Ms. Clinton's inner circle. It was unknown to us that any such instructions were given. We are unaware what the basis of that is. Conveniently, they have no knowledge of what's going on. Other aides identified the Inspector General are major Clinton campaign players. Huma Abedin, longtime Clinton aide and former Deputy Chief of Staff at the State Department, who now serves as a campaign vice chairwoman, and Jake Sullivan, former Deputy Chief of Staff at the State Department, and currently a senior advisor to the Clinton campaign. Cheryl Mills, a former Clinton Chief of Staff, who has no formal role with the campaign, but remains a close ally of Miss Clinton, also would not meet with investigators. Kind of funny that the people of the United States are forced to answer questions anytime the government comes knocking on the door. It's funny that our military personnel have to answer questions when our government comes knocking on their doors. But when the people come knocking on the doors of these officials, they suddenly forget how to speak. They don't feel that they have to answer to us. Well, we need to remind our government officials, as I said earlier, they answer to us. They work for us. We give them power. For too long, they have felt and acted that they rule us, that they have the right to the power. Come November, I need every one of you to take a look at
who you're voting for. Look into who they are, just not what letter they are. But I will say this, the one I will never, ever advocate any support for is that killer Hillary Clinton. And if you don't trust Trump all that well, that's fine. Then do this. Make sure you still vote for Trump. But make sure that you vote in a new, stronger Congress. A Congress that is willing to do its job as it's set up to do and to keep a president at check. A Congress that is going to stand up and tell the president no when it needs to be said. With that, I want to thank everybody. It is that time again. Remember, every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. You can catch me, Jersey Joe, on the Reaver of Common Sense. And until tomorrow, have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.